30 years. 30 years. This man lied to me about his age. I'm feeling this angle. I don't know what it is. You guys, I am eating fried turkey and pickles. I wanted to get into a topic today for Girl Chat. Ooh, it's funny because it kind of goes with like the Playboy theme of it all. Today we're going to talk about age gaps, how I feel about it, have I experienced it, my experience with them. I've had my fair share of age gap relationships. I was never against age gap relationships, and I'm still not. I think once you're like mid to late 20s, I feel like it doesn't matter as much. Like once you hit like 25, 26, once the frontal cortex is cortexed, I think it's kind of free reign a little bit. When I was 14, I had like the biggest crush on my teacher. We had a bond, you guys. We actually ended up going on a date after I graduated. I have a whole story time on that subject, so I won't get too deep into the tea. But when we were younger, as a girl, like I feel like we mature so much faster than guys that it's kind of like dating guys your age literally feels like dating like a child. So I was into it. Yeah. Did I have daddy issues? I don't know, because like my dad was in my life growing up. We'd go to his house on the weekends. My parents were split. I have no idea. I don't want to claim anything like that. But what's the biggest age gap that I've been in, you guys? I have a funny story. When I was in it with the teacher, I didn't really think anything of it. I didn't think it was wrong. I didn't think it was, if anything, I was like, period poo, like snatched. That's what we would say like in high school. Would be like, oh, we snatched him, he snatched him. I was like, I snatched him, period. It was always someone who was like a little bit out of grasp. It was an ego boost, like ego inflated. If you're famous, you're already like attractive to me. You guys, we've all been there. If you haven't been there, you know, you're just must be better than me. I don't know. I just wanted to be in that life or whatever. And that's the thing, it's like you cannot create idols in your life because it's gonna come back and freaking smack you in the face. And trust me, you guys, I have story times coming for y'all out the ass. So there was this DJ that I met, and he would headline like festivals here and stuff. So like he was pretty, you know, I was like, okay, like he got a little thing. We'll just call him D. I met D at this party. I was with my homegirl. I want to say I was like 21, 22. He was like fine to me. Like he's not my typical type, but it was all of the other facets and things coming in. He was playing amazing music. You guys would not imagine what I ended up doing. So towards the end, he's like packing up all his DJ stuff, and he was like calling me after the club. My homegirl Valerie, she's my partner in crime. We get into the craziest, wildest nights, wildest stories. As soon as she like co-signs me, I'm going for it. Like it does not matter. He was in the process of moving to Tampa, and he had something to do the next day over there, and he's like, I am heading to Tampa tonight. Do you want to come with me? Obviously my only other brain cell at this point is Valerie. I'm like, Valerie, like he's asking me to go to Tampa with him. I don't even remember how that conversation went. I ended up like going home, packing a bag, and I just went on a trip with this man in a 4-hour car ride with a complete stranger. I would never do this today. Like that is actually so wild to think about. It's like when you know my friend group and like you know my family, then I'm kind of like, I know you then and I feel safe here. You know what I mean? Does anybody else like resonate with that, or is it just me? Whatever. You would think that like meeting someone and immediately going on a 4-hour trip with them, it would be like awkward, but we had such a chemistry, you guys. Chemistry was wild, crazy, out of this world. He's so freaking funny. We laughed the whole time. Get there, he checks us in. We have 2 separate beds. This is when I knew the age gap was gapping. This was the point in my life where I would always listen to meditation sounds to go to sleep. I could not fall asleep unless I had like 482 hertz playing in the background, or like affirmations. Like I was just always listening to something going to sleep. So I was like, hey, can we play something like peaceful to go to bed? This man starts playing Hans Zimmer, the Star Wars theme track. Like I was just like, like in the bed trying to go to sleep, and I could not fall asleep because my heartbeat was racing, because it was like the sound that they play when like something major is about to happen, and it like gets you riled up. And I was like, can you turn this off? Like, it's stressing me out. And like he literally like was cracking up laughing, because he was like, I thought this is what you wanted. Next day we wake up, he was just in the mode of doing a whole bunch of stuff, and I was literally just there. Like, I was just there. I had no agenda. I was just there. I accompanied him to like all his little work meetings. He told me he's 38. He did have like a couple gray hairs, but it wasn't a lot. Like, it was maybe like a couple like in his beard or whatever. So he told me 38, and I was like, okay. This is when I found out our real age gap. Told me his age and then would tell me things about his life, and then I'm like, wait, so that stuff happened when you were 2? I'm catching on, right? I'm catching on to these lies, and I'm like, this man is not 38 years old. Like, there's no way you're 38 years old and you graduated high school 40 years ago. After I ended up moving away from Florida, we stayed in contact for a while. We ended up going to Vegas. I remember we met in the airport in Nevada, in Las Vegas, and it was so cute. I was like, oh my god, his little bald head. In my head, I'm like, I need to get to the bottom of how old he really is. You know, when you're checking into hotels, like IDs are being passed around, cards, credit card, everything is being passed around. I get his ID. So I'm like looking. This man was 52 years old. And I'm like, you're 52? It went from a 16-year age gap to a 30-year age gap. And he snatches it back quick. I'm not even gonna lie, like, if he would have told me from day one, I would have been vibing. We had been talking and got really freaking close over the past year and a half. For you to lie this long about something like as silly as that, that's what made me be like, are you serious? That was my biggest age gap. I didn't even know it was that big until that trip. And after that, honestly, we didn't hang out because of other reasons. He had got me a purse that trip, and I have no idea where it is now. I just don't like that. I don't like people feeling comfortable lying to me. I think 10 years is like a safe bet. You guys aren't so disconnected in age to where it's like weird. If you're under 18, obviously stick to under 18, okay, because that is illegal and they are technically pedophile. But if not, have fun, do what you want. At the end of the day, as long as it is legal and consensual and everybody knows the truth, age truly is just a number. And like I said, I think mid to later 20s is more appropriate to the bigger age gaps. But yeah, it's like maturity, making sure you guys want the same things, making sure you guys are in the same stage of your life, which is hard when you guys are maybe 20 years apart. But I'm not judging. Personally, would I date someone 30 years older than me? Probably not, because I also want someone to like enjoy my life with. I can't be like 50 and you're 80. What about y'all? Have y'all been in age gap relationships? How does everyone feel about it? I went on a date with a guy for the first time that was younger than me, and it just felt so weird. Like, I ended up treating him like he was like my little brother, and he was like, am I old enough for you? Am I mature enough for you? And I'm like, mature enough for what? For what? I can't do it. And he was such a nice guy. I just could never take him serious, and I don't think I would really like respect him as a man. I would feel like I'm like the leader because I just have more life experience. And kudos to the girls who could date guys younger. I think a year younger would be a lot for me, honestly. But I think I could do a year younger. 2 years younger. This guy was like 4 years younger than me. And I was like, oh, who knows? I never say never. You never know if a really amazing guy comes into my life and he's like 2 years younger than me or something. I might give him a chance and see if I can vibe. But yeah, that is my little girl talk for today about age gaps. I'll be back with another girl chat soon. I hope you guys have the most amazing rest of your day. Happy, happy, happy Vlogmas.